Hey YouTube, it's Callista. I'm just here to do my 1 month Surgiversary update. This will be broken into 2 videos because I don't have somebody here to do my body shot. So my body shot will be done later, but it's going to be just the body shot. And then right now I'm just giving numbers and explaining a couple things. So let's get into it. Highest weight was 297. That was a week and a half before surgery. 297. My BMI was 52.5%. My neck was 16 inches. My arms were 19 inches. Actually, one was 19, one was 18 and 3/4. So one of them, my right arm is 1/4 of an inch larger than my left arm, and I'm left-handed, so that could be why. My bust was 52 inches, which for me translated to a bra size of a 44 double D. My waist was 51 inches. Now, there's a little bit of an argument here. My surgeon's office measures the waist at the belly button. I measure my waist at the smallest point where my waist hits. So for me, my waist is about 2 inches above my belly button, 2 or 3 inches above my belly button, and about an inch below my rib cage. So that natural kind of waistline, the very smallest part, that's what I consider my waist. But I do still take into account their waist measurement. So when I go by my waist measurement, my waist was 51 inches. At my belly button, I was 54 inches. At my hips, I was 55 inches. And at each one of my thighs, they're the same size, was 28 inches. Remember, my date of surgery was the 19th of February, 2014. 1 month post-op, which is today, March 19th, 2014. My weight is, as of this morning, 269 pounds. I'm going by my scale at home because I have 2 of them. My grandmother has a digital one, which I just took claim to, but that's okay. And we also have a manual one in the house. The manual one and my grandmother's digital read the same number. They are like 0.2, 0.3 off, only because on a manual scale you don't see the 269.3. You don't see that on that scale. That scale that read me 269.3 is my grandmother's. So I'm going off of those because yesterday I woke up, I checked my weight, it told me 270. I went to the doctor. Now when I weigh, I wake up first thing in the morning, I'm naked and I pee. And then I weigh. When I weighed at his office, I was 275 pounds. It was 275.0, so it was exactly 275, but I had on clothes. I had on jogging pants, a hoodie, and I had already eaten twice. So I don't know if it was just like the natural kind of gain you get throughout the day. I'm not really sure, but that was the fluctuation. When I weighed myself again this morning, I was 269. So, like I said, I'm going by my scale, only because also one of the other women that was post-op yesterday, she made mention that her scale weighed her at 4 pounds lighter than the scale at the doctor's office. So I can only think that maybe the scale hadn't been calibrated like this week or something. But whatever. It's a 5-pound fluctuation. It's not something to work myself up about. I'm just going by the weight that's on my scale. That's all I'm saying. On my scales that match. Anyway, as of yesterday, my BMI was 48.7, which puts me down 3.8%. Again, with my weights, from my highest weight, I'm down 28 pounds. From my surgery weight, I'm down 22 pounds. My neck was 14 inches yesterday. That's a 2-inch loss. My arms were 17.5 and 17.25. So, whatever, that's 1.5 inches on each one. I have 2 arms, So that's a total of 3 inches. I'm considering total inches body overall. So in case you guys get confused with the numbers I'm giving out. My bust was 51 inches. That's a 1 inch loss, but I'm still in the same size bra. The only difference is I can feel the band getting looser. Like I mean, an inch is an inch is an inch. And apparently that rang true when, you know, I could feel like that my bra, like around the band, wasn't as tight as it normally is, or as fitted rather. My waist was at 45 inches, which put me down 6 inches around the smallest part of my waist. At my belly button, I was 51 inches. That put me down 3 inches. At my hips, I was 53 inches, which put me down 2 inches. And each one of my thighs was 27 inches. So that's a loss, because I have 2 legs, of 2 inches. So in total, I lost 19 inches over my whole body, and 3.8% of my BMI. So something I want to get into, I can officially start to work out today, and I'm probably going to attempt to rearrange some of my bedroom. We'll see how well that works. But what I want to get into is ideal body weights. And I know for some people, their ideal body weight is on the grid. My ideal body weight is not on the grid. Actually, by the grid, for somebody who's 5'3", I should weigh 115 pounds. I don't want to be 115 pounds. I don't find that to be sexy. It just doesn't work for me. I've seen myself at my current height. The very smallest I've seen myself at that height is around, 148 pounds. So my ideal body weight is 140, and that's only because when I was at 148, I still had a little bit of a pudge. I didn't have like a muffin top or anything, but I did have a little bit of a pudge around, like in my belly button section. There was still a little bit of pudge there. So, obviously I don't want to be washboard, abs, you know, stick figure skinny. That's not my idea of perfect weight. And some people's idea of the perfect weight is based on the grid. My idea of the perfect weight is based off of what I think is going to look good on me. So for some of you, you may look at me and say, she's 5'3", she wants to be 140 pounds. That's kind of big. Well, to you, that may be big. To me, that's perfect. My best friend is 5 feet tall. She's 125 pounds. And she's little. She looks like a stick with 2 balloons on the front of it because she's got like D boobs. I would say she's probably closer to a double D. But from maybe it could just be the size ratio on her. She says she's got D boobs. I think they're a double D. I'm just saying. But she doesn't get spillage in her bras or anything. But she is literally, she's just up and down. She's got a very tiny kind of curve at her waist. She's got enough of a butt to say she has a butt. She's not flat as a board. But all of her weight is like in her boobs. She's just got the biggest boobs on the tiniest girl. But looking at her, knowing, okay, she's 3 inches shorter than me. Her ideal weight at somebody 5 feet, 5'1", she'll argue it with you and tell you that she's taller. No, she's about 5 feet, 5'1" on her good days. But if she were 100 pounds, she would look terrible. And she's even said, like, now that she's at 125, she's like she was 137 or 135, something like that, like 2 months ago. And now that she's at 125, she's just like, how am I getting this skinny? You know, like, and for her, you know, she can handle it, but she just can't figure out why her body is starting to, in her opinion, be skinny. So again, for her ideal weight was about 130, 135 max. She's 125, but because of the way that she's built, you can see it very fast on her because her boobs are not going to shrink. Her boobs refuse to shrink. It's the rest of her that's just kind of shrinking down. And like, she's one of those girls, she just found a pair of Uggs that fit her legs the way she likes. Like, I'm a moon boot person, I like moon boots, but when you put moon boots on, the opening in them is really wide. And I have wide calves, so it works for me. But she tried my moon boots on, and she literally, it was like, that was how her leg was inside the moon boot. Like, it was just, because she's got, like, I want to say her, like, her calf and her ankle are about the size of my, you know, from my elbow down. So, like, my forearm is, like, her leg. Like, no joke, she's just got small legs. So, she just found a pair of Uggs that she put on and was just like, oh, they fit so great. Because, obviously, all the fuzzies inside make them look real snug. But she didn't feel like her leg was kind of just like, you know, flip-flopping around in the, in like the shaft of the leg of the boot. So, I mean, I'm just giving examples. For her, 125 is where she needs to max out, not lose any more weight. It's done. Like, if she loses any more weight, she's gonna look sick. And then, you know, there's some people that can be 5'5" and be 110 pounds, but it's just the way their body holds it. It looks great. So I think the message that I'm kind of trying to send here, especially if you're somebody who's considering weight loss surgery, if you don't know what your body looks like, if you don't know what your, you know, your height with this smaller weight or the smallest weight that you want to be looks like, don't have expectation. Don't have a specific expectation. Let's put it that way. I know that there are some people, K-Star is one of them. She initially set her, her weight to be, you know, her goal weight to be a certain weight, and then it changed. As she got closer to that weight, it changed, and that happens. It is what it is. But I want people to understand, when you go into this process, if you are somebody who decides to have weight loss surgery, be realistic. Understand that if you start out at 300 pounds, when you get to 200, your body may look so drastically different. It's going to look drastically different. I mean, I lost almost 30 pounds. I'm not even at 30 pounds yet. And I see differences in my body, and I'm just like, whoa, okay. Like, when I look in the mirror, I see it. Do I feel my weight loss? No. The only thing I notice is that my breathing isn't as labored as it was. But, I mean, it's not until I look in the mirror and it's kind of like I have to cut my head off, like visually cut my head off, to look at my body and say, okay, this looks a little smaller. All right, this looks a little smaller. But because I have the mentality that I'm 297 pounds, it's going to take a while for me to accept, like, when I get down to 200, I'm just going to be like, you know, I haven't been 200 pounds for maybe the past 2.5, 3 years. So you forget a little bit about how your body looks at that weight. I mean, you forget. It is what it is. But I just want people to understand, when you go into this process, don't have this mindset. If you want to be on the grid, that's good for you. It's great for you. I don't want to be on the grid. So when you go into this process, if you want to be on the grid, that's fine. But if you sit there and you think to yourself, okay, I'm 250 pounds. I only want to lose about 100 pounds. You know, I'm 5'5". That's it. That's all I want to do. I just want to be 150 pounds. Well, based on the grid for 5'5", you should only be 125 pounds. Who cares? Your body is going to work the way that it wants to. And if it loses a little more weight than you expected, but it's healthy, accept it. If it doesn't lose as much as you wanted to, but you're real close, accept it. It's your body. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And if you're working out regularly and you're eating food that isn't detrimental to your health, and your body decides, okay, I'm 5'5", I only want to be 170 pounds, leave it alone. That's what it wants to be. I mean, if you can work out and get it down, great. But if you're working out and you're busting your butt and it doesn't want to go down, maybe there's a reason. Maybe that for your body type, for the way your body is built, maybe you have bigger legs and a smaller upper body. Maybe your body just wants to stop there. Maybe you're 5'5" and you only want to weigh 150, but you get down to 135 pounds. That's where your body wants to go. Let it go where it wants to go. I mean, as long as you're not risking your health by losing that amount of weight, let your body do what it's going to do. As long as you're doing everything right, you're doing everything your doctors are telling you, you're doing everything that you know is good for you, let your body do what it's going to do. That's the only thing I'm beginning to learn to accept, is that my body's going to do what it wants to do. My expectation before I had surgery was, oh my God, my legs are going to look like sticks and my waist is not going to get any smaller, and, my face is going to look all sunken in and skinny right away, because I know how my body normally loses weight. One thing you need to understand going into this kind of surgery, if you do decide to have it, your body loses weight differently. At least for me it does. Maybe it doesn't do that for everyone. Maybe people lost weight the same way they lost weight before. My body is not doing that. I only lost an inch on each of my thighs, which I'm fine with because I've never had big legs. But I had a crying fit yesterday when I had all my measurements done, and then I measured my waist, and I realized the one part of my body that lost the most inches was my midsection. That is the last place I lose weight. When I'm doing a normal diet, when I had a normal stomach, the last thing on my body to lose weight was my midsection. And most of my inches are from my bust to my hips. And I was a hopping mess. I was just crying, and I was so happy because this is the first time in my life that my body lost weight and did it from the midsection first. And that's my biggest part of my body. So I was just a mess. I was like, oh my God, this is the first time in my life this is happening. Like, it's happening. My body is losing weight the way I want it to, because after surgery, it chose to do that. And I could only be happy and just say, you know what? This is how my body wants to do it. So be it. That's what it's going to do. So I just want people to understand, you have to have realistic expectations. You can't beat yourself up over a pound or two gain, or, if you only lose a pound one week, maybe you're going to lose 4 or 5 the next week. You have to stay positive. I believe that your mental status can drastically alter your weight loss and can be very detrimental to your health. So that's all I have to say about that. I just want people to understand that it's a process. Your body is going to go through it. It's going to be hard for you to accept at times. It's going to be, very easy for you to accept at times. It's going to be kind of crazy to think back and think, wow, I had this surgery. All of this has happened in a year, or all this has happened in 6 months, or whatever. This is just where my mindset is 1 month out. It may change next week, but I just kind of want to let people know where I'm at, how I feel about the process, what my outlook is on it. If I had to go through it again, I would choose the same surgery on the same date with the same doctor. I'd go through all the same aftermath. It was all worth it. That was 3 days for me to be absolutely miserable and uncomfortable, to be at the point that I'm at now, and to just be happy that my scale is going down, and that I didn't hit 300 pounds, and that I'm just so grateful for that. So I don't think there's much more for me to say. I hope all of you are doing great. If you're already a post-op VSG, if you're pre-op VSG, I hope you're doing great. Pre-op, bypass, whatever your lap band, whatever you're getting done. I just want everybody to have a great week. I will talk to you guys next week, and I'll do my weigh-in in the next couple hours. All right? Thanks a lot. Talk to you guys later.